That's Sarah Blasko from her new album, I Just Need to Conquer This Mountain. We found Sarah at home in Sydney, where she tells us about making the most relaxed and freewheeling record she says she's made, and about her show that took place a few months ago at Auckland's Town Hall, opening for Boy and Bear.
Get me to church, I want God on my side. It was simple when we were young.
I remember I enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and it's been a while since I've been in New Zealand, so
That's what I thought, yeah.
that was really nice. But yeah, I enjoyed. I mean, I remember that the space was really beautiful at the town hall, right? Or the
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, very good. So since then, I can't believe that you recorded this album in just like 5 days or something. Is that true?
Well, most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of recorded the drums, bass, vocals, piano, live, and then then we sort of did strings and horns and stuff a bit later.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I love recording that way though. Like, I just love keeping it really fresh. Anytime that I've done it where it's all really separate, I don't seem to enjoy it as much. So yeah.
Because I think you recorded an album right across the street from where I'm at now at Roundhead.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my second album.
What was that experience like? Do you remember?
It was amazing. Yeah, I remember. Well, it was just, one of those, the stuff that dreams are made of kind of thing, like like being at Neil Finn's studio, and it was so beautiful. And then we were staying in this tiny little, it would look like a mini mansion on his property. Like, so we were staying at his place and we were chatting to him every morning when we'd go. Nice. So for me, that was, pretty dreamy.
Yeah, I see him every once in a while. He gets up early in the morning, runs up Mount Eden. So
yeah.
Staying in shape. It's good for.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. Yeah. Very fierce.
So this is your first album in quite a while, in a bit, and quite a bit has happened in the interim with you. So, how much do you want to share about the backstory to this record?
I mean, it's hard to know where to start. It's like, and when I don't want to bring anyone down too much. But yeah, I guess like a lot of people, during all of the time when the world ended for a while there, had a lot of time to reflect, and that was mostly when I wrote these songs, or started writing these songs in the little bits of time that I had to myself. And I think it was just a very, like, for better or worse, it was a really reflective period, but also pretty strange because I just had a baby, my second child.
Congratulations!
And thank you, thanks. And then
I'm expecting my second grandson next week.
Oh, right! Oh, wow! Well, congratulations! So exciting. Had my second child, and a really, really old friendship of mine ended in that year as well, and so it was just the best and the worst of times. And so this was, as usual, like writing music is my way to get through it all. And which I feel very fortunate to have as a tool. But I think there was a lot going on in my mind, but I think that looking back was also another big part of it. Because the friendship that ended was a friendship I'd had since I was a child. Mm-hmm. So, it was just, it brought up a lot of things from my childhood and from my past, and had to kind of make sense of. So.
Yeah, it's tough.
Life is tough. It's
the older you get, it doesn't get any easier.
No,
either,
really, I'm really discovering that.
Throw that in at you, right?
Yeah.
Cheer you up a little bit.
Oh, that's reassuring on a Monday morning. Thanks.
But we proceed on anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the album, the 10 songs that make up the record, it's very much feels like a narrative. It's a beginning, a middle, and end, and there's a journey there. Was that what you were thinking of when you were writing these songs, or did it kind of happen that way?
I don't think I was thinking about it when I was writing them, but I think when you put the collection of songs together, that's what I tend to think about is telling a story through the songs. And so I think the first side of the record, or, to be sort of old-fashioned.
Yes, please do.
Is, really about the struggle that I was sort of currently in and trying to make sense of. And then the second half is sort of going back to, well, who are you, and what do you want to draw from this experience, and where do you want it to sort of take you?
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And I see you've made at least 3 videos so far to go along with the record, and they seem to be interconnected as well.
Yeah, well, there's videos for all of the songs.
Oh,
so
great.
they come out with the record.
Oh, I'm never gonna give you up, never give you up. I won't let you down. Ooh, I'm never gonna give you up, never give you up. No, I won't let you go. Walking through the shadows, you drag yourself down too low. You stay too long.
Yeah, I just kind of filmed them all in just a flurry of activity. Like,
Yeah.
basically, some friends of mine who I've worked with a lot. We just got into a space, and we just had sort of a very basic setup of lights and a psych and a camera, and we just played around for a few days and just filmed some weird stuff. And then we ended up giving the footage to a friend of mine who loves to work with like old video technology.
Yep.
And also he likes to sort of dabble in what AI can do, just being creative with AI.
Okay.
So yeah, just gave him all the footage and then he pieced it together. But yeah, I mean, I really wanted the videos to be just like a really weird combination of like raw and kind of taking you off onto another world.
Yep.
Sort of a bit psychedelic, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was a pretty fun part of the project. But it took.
So were the sessions themselves fairly intense? I mean, you say raw. I mean, there's a lot going on
The film
emotionally in these songs.
Yeah.
How was it for you to get it out?
Well, I danced. You mean in the videos or in
in the videos and in the record?
Yeah. Well,
Both.
the videos, I basically rolled around on the floor and jumped around in like a jumpsuit for a couple of days.
Yes.
So it was very cathartic. It was like the last chance to just get it all out. But and I'm very comfortable with the people that I worked on that with.
Oh, that's
so
good.
we could be idiots together. But I think that always for me, like, particularly with a record like this, that there is an intensity and there is a bit of a sadness and all those things. I really love for the visuals and the production to kind of take it out of that, and show a bit of the sort of absurdity or the extremes in the emotions and stuff, and sort of just revel in it, because it's sort of, I didn't want anything to be too intense. Like I love the way that, sort of drama and comedy kind of come together and almost make the emotional impact stronger. But the recording itself was very free flowing and really like really beautiful. Like, even though we did it in a relatively short space of time, it wasn't stressful in any way. I think because I've worked with these musicians for a long time, and just very like a very easy.
It seems like you probably start out with piano and drums and build up from there. Who's your drummer?
His name's Lawrence Pike. So he's played with Pivot and he's played with Liars and like heaps of different people. But yeah, he's my favorite drummer in Australia. So I'm pretty happy to be working with him. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And since it seems to, from my ears, it starts out with you and him playing together. Was there any kind of discussion, or do you rehearse specifically with him to get these things going?
Well, we rehearsed all together. With bass, drums, piano, and I don't know. We sort of, I like to just really loosely sketch it out in a rehearsal studio. And then when you get into the studio, then you're not just going through the motions, you're still trying to work it out to a degree. And each take, because we're doing live takes, each take is slightly different, or we'll try different tempos and things like that. But I don't know. I tend to, particularly these days, like I don't really see the point in, unless I've got a really, really clear, specific idea.
Right.
I don't love to completely dictate what someone would
Right.
play, like, because I really feel like that's why I'm asking them,
Right. Sure.
to play, is that I love their style and I want to bring out the best in what they do, and but yeah, I think for these songs, like, the main point was that I really wanted the piano to drive the songs. And normally, because my piano playing is really basic, normally I kind of like to hide it a bit. And this time
Right.
I was just like, I just want it to be what it is, and I don't really want to try and remove that or make some kind of fancy version of that. I just really wanted them to just be raw and honest and simple. And I guess mainly it was kind of about a less is more kind of approach, and that was
Right.
probably with the drums. A lot of the references I gave musically were, a lot of the drum tracks were really quite dry sounding drums,
Uh-huh.
very close mic'd kind of drums. And
Yep.
so
And
yeah.
and most of the tracks, they start in one place and end another. They kind of build up. There's a bit of drama there. Did it feel like that to you when you were making? Because you said you added the strings and horns probably later.
Yeah.
But did you know all that was going to happen when you were in the studio doing that?
Well, yeah, you sort of create the internal drama, and then
Right.
and then the drama, is on a little bit of drama on the top also. But yeah, I mean, I think that has to be in the basic recording, like or just infer it before the strings and the horns come, because you can't really guarantee that the strings or the horns are going to create that in themselves. So you sort of have to have a sense of that already in the dynamics. And but yeah, it was really fun with, like, the horn players, for instance, in Emotions, like just getting them to improvise and have
Yes.
fun, and with this sort of emotional song.
Yeah. And you do a duet with the guy named Ryan Downey
Yeah.
for Goodbye, which is, I think, one of the songs that you performed when you were here in Austin.
Ooh, watch me launch into the sky. Look down upon what I've survived. I'm crying and waving now as I drift high above the clouds.
Yeah, so Ryan is a singer and a songwriter from Melbourne,
Right.
and I really love his music, and any chance I get for people to know about him, I take. And yeah, he toured with me a few years ago, and I really got on so well with him and his band. And when the song didn't start out as a duet, but as I
When
started
did you
listening,
decide you wanted another voice in there?
well, when I started listening back to it, when I did the demos, and I realized that it sounded like the words were a conversation, and it sounded like that there was a reply.
Right.
And then I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should I've never done a duet before, time to
Uh-huh.
whip it out. And on the seventh album, you're always trying to find something different to do that you haven't done
Yep.
before, so yeah.
Okay. And it kind of has a happy ending with Divine, the track that finishes it off. And I noticed that in a couple. I may be totally off base with this, but I don't know if it's the chord sequences or whatever you use, but there's a certain Pink Floydian vibe to some of the stuff that I found in there, particularly in Divine. And
Yeah, right.
the sax
I
comes
do.
in there. So I think you got some tour dates lined up after the album comes out. What are those shows going to be like?
Well, I'm just kind of, I love to just play through the record. I'm old fashioned like that.
Right.
So I'll be playing through the record, and some of the sort of visual elements from the videos will be incorporated in
Oh,
that.
good.
But unfortunately I don't have any New Zealand dates yet until
Okay.
like hopefully next year I'll be over there. But yeah, these shows I guess are just like sort of like album launch shows, I suppose. And,
Are you playing with a band or solo or?
yeah, I'm playing with the whole band that made the record with me, and
Right.
so yeah.
Yeah. And I see that Mojo magazine reviewed the record and called it
Yeah.
your defining album so far.
I know. Yes, that was very polite of them to assume I might have a few more.
Yeah,
left
more
in
in
me.
few in you, but
Yeah.
what does that mean to you when you read that and see that people
Well,
are-
that means a lot coming from Mojo magazine, because
Yeah.
I've grown up
Reading.
reading. But then Mojo, or is it Uncut, that often have like a CD?
Oh no,
used to
Mojo
have a
usually
CD.
puts a CD in.
Yeah. So the Glisten, and
Yep.
so yeah, it means a lot. So the reviews so far that I've read are from Mojo and Uncut, and so I'm just like, that's it. I'm done. I don't really need any
Right.
other reviews, because they're both
You're
both
good.
quite good. So I was like, that's it.
Right.
So yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, people always say, "Oh yeah, reviews don't mean too much," but then when there's a good one, it's like, "Oh well, actually, but
Now that
like,
you
they really
mention
got it." Now that you mention it, they're not so bad. And,
Yeah, exactly.
if they're
So when you're out on the
listening-
road, I'm guessing because of the nature and of the subject matter and the emotional pull of the songs, that people are going to want to talk to you about their own experiences and kind of ask you about yours on a deeper level. Are you prepared to do that, or
well,
bracing
no,
yourself?
I'm not. I hadn't actually thought about that
Oh,
until
no,
you
tour's
just
off.
brought that up. Yeah. I mean, luckily, I'm quite hard on the sleeve kind of person who doesn't mind
Right.
talking about emotions and feelings and things like that. So I don't know. I'll probably be fine, because I hate like small talk.
Right.
So
Right.
if someone wants to really get to the heart of the matter with me, I'm
Right.
usually okay.
Because these days you have to kind of meet and greet and sell the merch and all
guess
that
so.
stuff in order to
Yeah.
make a buck. So you kind of have to put yourself out there a little bit more than folks used to in
Yeah.
the past.
I guess so. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, Mick and Keith out there selling T-shirts after a Stones gig, but
Yeah. Well, I don't always go out there, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a nice chance to, when a record's just come out, and
yeah,
it's like, yeah, I think it's I mean, I actually quite like, just chatting to people about their lives. And, sometimes it gets strange, but
I'm sure
not that often.
it probably has always been that way.
So, yeah, it's sort of, it's been one of the
Yeah,
funny, beautiful and strange.
yes.
Yeah,
So with this record kind of out or coming out and imminently after 6 years, are you thinking more in terms of what you're going to do next?
well, it does feel like the moment the record comes out, I usually do feel like lighter somehow, and like
Right. able
to think about what I will do next. So yeah, I'm kind of feeling that, once it's out, I can, I don't know, I have been wanting for a long time to do a very stripped back record. Like almost every record I've tried to do that at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it's ended up, actually, I Awake, I think, started off like that, and then I ended up working with an orchestra.
Right.
So I would like to do a truly bedroom style recording where it's just really personal and all kind of coming from me, so I think that's what I'd like to do next. But
And it has been kind of 20 years since your first solo album came out. So they give you pause for reflection?
well, yeah, it does actually. I had to listen to it a lot lately, because there's going to be, because it's never been released on record, and
That's right.
now
Yeah,
everybody wants to buy records, so I'm
that's
delighted.
right.
So I've had to listen to it a lot and put all of that together.
And what was that experience like?
Well, it was kind of hard in a way, because I haven't really, I haven't sat down and listened to it for
Right.
a long time. But I think ultimately, I just, there are things that you would want to change, but I think that
Does it sound like you?
It just feels like a long time ago.
Does
a
it
really
feel
long
like
time
it's
ago.
you, or is it somebody else that you're
No, it
looking?
feels like someone else. But then, yeah, I'm definitely proud with some of the sentiments on that record.
Right.
But yeah, it does feel like a different person, which is a very strange feeling. Like, but I don't mind her. She's pretty. I don't mind.
All right.
I don't mind 26-year-old me.
Yeah, it's all right.
She's giving it a good go. She was.
I'm sure. Yes. If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.